Hi Animateka, my name is Lea, I'm the animator and director, and behind the camera is Damir, my producer. We'll be presenting the making of The Legend of Goldhorn. We're currently in my hometown Bohinj. Growing up in a place like this, you found out all the local fairy tales, folk tales, mythological creatures and all around mysterious things that happen in the nature. And these stories have fascinated me ever since I was a kid. And especially the Legend of Goldhorn. This legend is not only local to Bohinj, but to all the valleys that surround the Julian Alps, where the story takes place. You can see the mountains behind me. Although not many people know the story itself, Slovenians have been greeted by the image of Goldhorn daily and in many forms. It's used in logos of hunting establishments. In the 30s it was a brand of turpentine soap, and to this day we see it as a brand of one of the largest breweries of Slovenian beer. The Legend of Goldhorn's story has an important message, especially now. It talks about human relationships towards nature, our values and greed. The main message is, if we don't stop treating nature poorly, we as humankind will be defeated, because nature is all-powerful and it's bigger than us, and it will in the end survive even without us. The film is a 10-minute short film that started out as my student film. But as the film grew in complexity and we couldn't get funded as a student film, me and my partner Damir decided that we were going to open up our own production studio called Octopics. We applied for national funding, and as the project was pitched and had great feedback on Visegrad Animation Forum, we were also successful in getting financed by the Slovenian Film Center as well. The same year we pitched the project on AnimatekaPRO, where we won the main award for the best pitch. This was all a great start for our debut film, which is now slowly coming to its finish line. These are some of my illustrations I made during my freshman years of studies in the Academy of Fine Arts in Ljubljana. This time I was focusing on folk tales of Bohinj in general, and with these pieces I discovered the color palette I was really happy with, and I returned to this color palette for Goldhorn as well. The colors, as the story is dark and horror-like. The colors are a striking contrast to that, really colorful and vivid. They also represent like the supernatural that surrounds us, but we can't see it. It's just like the superviolet or infrared light. I started working on this story long before I even knew it was going to be an animated film. I played around the idea all through my studies of university, but never felt it did the story quite justice. It was only at the end of my studies, when I started working in the field of animation, that it hit me that I would retell the story of Goldhorn as an animated short film. When it comes to technique, I was first trying out analog techniques as I enjoyed the look and making them. But then I realized how much paper and extra development time I would need, and I decided to find a way to recreate a brushy look digitally. I'm working in TV Paint, so drawn frame-by-frame animation. I also use this program for creating my own brushes. I drew up some textures by hand and then scanned them and played with the configurations inside TV Paint until I was happy with the stroke look. For the style inspiration, my biggest reference was the Expressionism paintings. I want to achieve a painterly look that's a little bit naive, but also very expressive in its line and colors and form. When I animate, I also try not to correct too much. I want to leave space for the little imperfections that occur when drawing each frame separately. Our story has three protagonists: a hunter, his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend Vida, Goldhorn, of course, and the green hunter, which is the hunter's dark side, or a wild demon which appears in the mountains. We follow the main protagonist, which is a hunter, which goes against his beliefs and goes to hunt the Goldhorn, which is actually a representation of the force of nature. So he is a godlike spirit which guides the valley, and from his blood wildflowers grow which have healing power. The original story is a lot more epic and involves many characters, but as it has been adapted many times for different formats, I took the same liberty myself. I focused on the main part of the story and its four main and one side character. This makes it more appropriate for the short film format. It also has no dialogue or narration, so I want the film to be understood internationally without subtitling. This way the actions have to speak for themselves, while at the same time they leave room for each viewer's own interpretation of the story. I approached developing the character faces, drawing them many times. In my head I tried to combine the faces of some people I know that fit the personality of the character with some actors. The next thing was making my storyboard. First I drawn it digitally to easily make changes regarding the script. When I was happy with that, I redrew the whole thing with color pencils by hand. This way I didn't focus too much on details, as I was limited on a small square on a piece of paper, and I could focus only on the composition and general color scheme. The hand-drawn storyboard and sketches also made great pieces for including in exhibitions. The storyboard is an art itself, and all the extra pieces that are thrown away in the development stage as well
So it would be a shame if people weren't able to see it.
So far, we've had 2 exhibitions of our work in progress. We feel it's a shame that many times people are not able to see all the work that goes into making a 10-minute film. You can mostly see exhibitions on festivals after the film is finished, but we feel that that doesn't get to the general public very often. Because this story is a folktale, we wanted to bring it back to the people in the communities that know it. We hosted the first exhibition in a gallery in Kran. They set us up with a small exhibition space by the bar of the gallery, which was great because it has a large window that we painted over with Posca pens. This attracted passerbys that were just there to get coffee, and then they dropped by and saw the exhibition as well. The second one was held in Bohinj itself. We are planning to have an extended exhibition after the film is done, bringing it to all the places of the Triglav National Park. The response of the people was great. Many people are not aware of how much work is behind a 10-minute short film, so it's nice that we can educate and grow the appreciation and value of what we do. This was also a jumpstart on promoting our film. The only bad part is that we said the film would be finished in November. It is obviously not, as COVID set us back also, so the new date is now next year. Also in the exhibitions, we showed the backgrounds from the film, at least some of them, made separately. This is a time-lapse of me drawing them. They are also layered, so we can make the multiplane camera effect. Every background also has a slightly animated overlay, so the image is never completely static. The house in this image is based on a real house in Trenta Valley. We had luck, as the owners were just there when we were doing research and were kind enough to show us inside. The area has a specific type of oven, which was also in the house. I decided to reuse the house layout and some of the details for my hunter's house in the film. I also had some fun and included some details from our visit there. This is a recreation of a painting that was inside the house that I found extremely sympathetic. And here is also Puha, their very fluffy cat. We approached our Animateka using VR. We were able to quickly animate the scenes in AnimatekaPRO, so we could get a real idea of the timing. Creating a scene in 3D is also very helpful in setting up the shots. Halfway through though, I realized that this freedom of handheld camera movement and 3D space was becoming a problem, as I wasn't thinking of my shots in 2D anymore, and so I was moving away from my painterly look. But this was a nice experiment, seeing all the great possibilities that VR brings to our future projects, and it also did clear up some questions I had in my head, so I wouldn't say it was a waste. The animation part was first made with just simple sketchy line animation. This stage was also then simultaneously edited together to see if the flow of the film works. We approached this stage like this because with line animation we can make corrections quicker and we don't waste too much time on each individual frame just to get the animated part right. We are currently in the stage of cleanup and coloring these animated parts. Each frame needs to be drawn with a border line and then colored on the inside. Here is a time-lapse of this stage. Next comes the compositing. We will need to composite all of the colored animated parts onto our backgrounds and animate the multiplane camera. Simultaneously, we'll be doing sound design and music. Some of the sounds were already recorded and we are continuing to record sounds. And the music will be made by Janez Dovč, a musician and composer who is known for his Slovenian folk song adaptations, which he successfully brings to the current time without losing the feel of the original song. Keeping that in mind, we couldn't have found a better fit and we are really excited to working with him and finishing the piece with his music, as we feel that it will really bring it together. So, this is it from us. Thanks for taking your time and listening to our talk. I hope things get better soon and we will be able to meet in person after one of the projections of our finished short film and we can chat at some festival. Stay safe and see you soon. Bye!